want to be held?
Yes, please.
Ellen?
Even though it's scary.
She's got her GoPro Hero 8 on her head there.
So,
Yep.
Is it on?
Yes, it is.
let me know when you going up?
I'm
Okay,
going up.
I got you.
Yeah, hold your brakes. Hold your brakes. That
Okay.
helps steady everything. 10 seconds.
Sorry.
5,
Oh, I got you. I'm not going to let go until you're going.
2, 1, go.
Welcome back to A Faster Me. We are here at the first stage of Valley of the Sun time trial. You heard I did a little bit better in the start. Joining me today is my teammate Marlena Bemis, who did great in this stage, coming in fourth. And unfortunately, we don't have her power numbers recorded. It would have been a little more exciting to see the fourth place rider instead of myself, who finished 12th out of 14th. But here we go. You're going to see a fun time trial and a fun course. Starting off, I went ahead and got held again. I was still a little bit nervous, but it was a little bit better than last time. I did learn that you need to hold your brakes. I think I don't practice track standing enough, or really at all. It's basically a pause at a light, and then that's about it. So anyway, I had a little bit different strategy this go round. I was trying to hold a little bit less than threshold power, and then on the way out, which we heard there was going to be kind of a headwind going out and then a little bit of a tailwind coming back. So I was hoping to do a little bit higher power on the way back. So anyway, how'd this feel for you, Marlena?
Good. So I did this race last year, and they've changed the time trial this year, which is interesting. It's a lot flatter than it was last year, which suits me better. And it's shorter. So it's a 10-mile course versus 15 or 14 last year, or 15, yeah. So mentally, you're just like checking in for 10 miles, and it's just a hard effort until you can't go anymore.
Yeah, it is pretty enjoyable. Something I did notice, I think the air is a little bit drier because I only had a small hammer flask of water, and I did not use any water on the last little time trial we did at Fiesta Island, and I felt okay, not great, but here about 2 miles in, I was dying. I was ready for a drink of water. I said, no, I gotta hold it at least a third of the way or longer, because I only had a couple swallows in the little Hammer Gel flask. So shout out to Hammer Gel, because I really love those little flasks that hold some gel mixed with water, easier to take, work for water too. So, and I think, Marlena, you typically don't do any water in these efforts.
I don't even think about it.
Well, it's probably why you are much stronger. I might be caring about the wrong things on the bike and focusing on how thirsty I am instead of holding consistent power. But honestly, this week was rough. Had a few days of no sleep, and I hadn't been on my bike since Sunday. I went for a little run on Tuesday. So coming in, just not the best fitness. Just had a drive the day before, but my legs actually felt okay. I was a little bit disappointed with my numbers. I was hoping to be a little bit higher, but I think a good effort overall. The course is a really nice L shape, so it's an out and back, so you know when you're halfway done, know where the turns are, then coming back, it's nice. So it really is a much shorter effort than a lot of the rides that you just do normally, but it is a pretty hard effort. We were told by some people who had scouted out the course that there was a storm drain or water drain about 1 point something miles in, that you have to come out of your drops for, and I actually came out of my aero bars, but it turned out that it was unnecessary to, and on the way back I did not. So just came out at the corners. And it's funny because normally I like cornering, but on the TT bike, it is definitely a little bit more challenging. I don't have quite as much confidence in the bike or or the steering. So definitely take those a little bit more cautious than I need to. So,
which is good. I also, I mean, I had a rough time with that. The turnaround.
The U-turn.
was bad for me. I probably lost a good 10 to 15 seconds there. I just was in the red. And so I don't know what I was thinking.
What power did you hold for the whole race?
So let me see. I was looking for somewhere around 245. And it looks like, so my normalized power was a little bit off that. My normalized was 240 and average was 236.
That's great. I think my normalized was 197 or 198, and my average was maybe 193. So I was definitely hoping for over 200, but I'm a little bit weak right now. So this year I've been down in power from previous years. So it was a little bit disappointing, but definitely less disappointing than the race that Anthony had with a heart issue. So I guess we always have something to compare ourselves to, right?
Right.
So, but anytime you're out here on a bike, working hard, bettering yourself, I think is a win. So, and this is honestly probably my favorite type of suffering, of just the steady state by yourself. I thought that this was probably my best chance, but just being a little bit weaker, and there's a lot of strong women out here. People come from all over the country to do the race. So yeah, I was passed, I think, by 3 women and only caught 1. So you definitely never like to be passed more than doing the passing, but it just is what it is. And I think if you're out here mainly battling with yourself, that's the best thing. So here's the first rider who comes by me, and very shortly after, another rider comes by who is doing a really strong effort.
Oh, sorry. I was trying to see who that was. We're doing this after the road race, so we've seen a little bit more of these characters today. So I was just trying to see who that was, but I couldn't tell.
Don't give any secrets away, Marlene.
I'm not.
That video is coming.
Oh,
so
stay tuned.
Stay tuned. We'll
Like and subscribe.
We'll definitely invite you over for that one, because yeah, some fireworks to be concerned with, or be looking. I don't know what the word is, but I'm tired. No. So yeah, I guess it wasn't quite as quick that the next person came by me. In my head, it was one after the other, but it looks like there's a little bit of a gap. But she was making up a lot of ground on me and then the other rider, so I was kind of watching them in the distance. And here I'm fluctuating in power a little bit, but trying to kind of maintain just a little bit under 200. So there goes the woman by. And unfortunately, I think both of them were on road bikes, which it's...
Yeah, I think the woman that just passed you actually came in first.
That's encouraging.
Today. Yeah, the red shorts, I think, came in first in this event, this time trial.
Well, she was moving, and I believe that was a road bike.
Yeah.
So that's definitely impressive on a flat course like this. To win a stage like this on a road bike is, I'd say, very impressive.
Absolutely. And what's your max heart rate?
I mean, if I'm to 170, it's close to maxed out. I mean, there have been a couple moments where I've hit in the 180s. I'm not sure I've seen 190 for a few years. When we first started racing and getting back on Zwift, I kind of fell in love with working hard again. And so my heart rate was high. And it was interesting because at the time, Anthony was on some heart medication, and his heart rate, no matter how hard he worked, he couldn't get it up at all. And then I think I became more efficient, or my heart was pumping just more blood, because then even though I got in better shape, my max heart rate went down. So even though I was able to, I think, work harder, so just maybe pumping more blood. But yeah, I had a pretty high heart rate. I think I hit some heart rate records for the year with my heart rate effort on this thing. So
Oh, and we've already
pretty
done we've done 2 other time trials. So out of 3 time trials, this is the highest it's been. So that's good.
getting used to the time trial bike too is always something. It's definitely in need of a fit. I could tell in the warm up it's just not so comfortable, and maybe it'll never be comfortable in the aero position, but a fit would definitely do some goodness.
Don't say never. I used to think the same thing, but you can get very comfortable in it.
And I'm not uncomfortable. It actually is not bad to just, you can kind of zone out, but it's so easy to let your mind wander even for a second, because you're just out here with the road. You're out here by yourself. Hopefully no one has headphones in, because that is against the rules. But you're just having to suffer. So it's really easy to get lost in your mind and daydream. And when you daydream or lose focus for a second, your power numbers go down, because everything in your body is saying, give up. This is too hard. We can't do this. We don't want to, because your brain is trying to protect yourself from, pain. But if you just stay focused and just keep yourself going, because you can do those numbers, you can push yourself, and it's really a good challenge.
Yeah.
So how do you feel you were able to focus for the duration of this race?
I'm not sure. I think having people in front of me was very helpful. Like I was chasing down a woman, and then seeing other women that had started in front of me when I turned around, right? So you can see them going the other way just seeing the other women in the field helped me focus and say, okay, that's who I need to go get. That kept me accountable. And then, just telling myself, hang in there, lady.
So we just came to the first corner, and that volunteer worker, got to give a shout out to the volunteers, yes. But he was so encouraging, just giving lots of words of encouragement the whole way through the corner, so it felt motivating. I took that opportunity to get a drink of water since I came out of my aero bars, so I struggled with that, and I was doing a above threshold effort while I was drinking the water, so I didn't lose too much. But then putting it away, I think I dropped a little, and so then the L part of the course is much shorter, so but right here I think there's a pretty good headwind.
Yeah.
And it was not so fun.
I agree. I kind of just took this section to recover a little bit, because it was such a headwind, and I just didn't want to cash out right away. I kind of took this section a little bit slower, just to compose myself, because you were seeing people on the other side of the road here,
starting to come back, and they were already on the,
back home section.
Yeah, and slightly downhill, because this, even though it didn't go up, it's going up here 1.2, 1 to 2%, which with the headwind and that slight gradient felt pretty challenging.
We also didn't know how long this section was. I feel like I could have tried to do the math in my head from my distance, but I just was again seeing red. So we didn't really know how long this was.
Well, I knew that it was about a mile because the turn came at about 4 miles.
There you go. She did the math.
And so, yes, I have some problems with counting down things in my head. It helps make the suffering less miserable. So I sometimes will be like, I'm a third of the way done, a fourth of the way done, half of the way done, count down the last miles by tenths. So I make the suffering a little bit more manageable by breaking it down. But yeah, I was just worried that I was not going hard enough, because it felt, just maybe like I could have gone harder. There was Marlena, so I think I yelled to her. You probably can't hear it on the video because you can hear our voices, but think I yelled
You did. I
go
don't-
go
Yeah.
something that made no sense. But
I think I do the opposite. Well, for time trials, I don't have a head unit mount on my bike, so I just use my watch and limited screen, so I can't really see what I'm doing. So that's why I didn't do the map, because I couldn't see it. Which is I think has been good for me.
oh, there was a two riders in that girl in orange that you think won.
Wow.
She was catching somebody again right there. So there's somebody else. So it's always nice to see people coming in. But yeah, the watch you really cannot see.
Yeah.
I was very optimistic to not ever have to wear my heart monitor again once we got watches that calculate data, because it gets sweaty, it's tight. If you keep it on all day, it's not so comfortable. Here's the U-turn.
So hard.
Yeah. I don't know how well I did on that U-turn either. See, I just spaced out doing the video, and I even missed half the U-turn, so how'd it look?
I'm sure I'll critique you later.
Oh.
Where'd you come from? Joining and just had to get your voice on the video a little bit.
Yeah.
Even though I was wanting you on more to maybe ask some good interview questions, because I don't know.
No, you guys are doing fine.
We'll see. Are my views going to be more than the AFib of Anthony's? We're going to see.
Of course you are.
I don't know, because that showed the Airbnb that we were at, which, it's something different from our normal content. I don't know. Maybe some people like something different, because some of these are kind of boring, but I don't know. I think boring is good. I'm happy and boring in my life. But coming back, I was trying to hold over 200, and I dropped down a couple times, but I'm able to do a little bit better on the way back. I think my average speed was 21.7, and Marlena, you averaged, I think, 23 something or close to 24.
Yeah.
Well, let's get the exact numbers.
23.2.
23.2, so about a mile and a half faster average. So I guess if they do this again, hopefully you can knock a little bit of time off if we come back next year, which it's definitely fun. Nice to be out here.
Yeah, and I'm looking now, so sometimes with time trials and courses like this, they'll give you a number of elevation, and it's completely off. This time I think they nailed it. So in total for the 10 miles, there was 118 feet of climbing. And the map, I wasn't too sure, because it looked like there were some rollers, which you can kind of see, but it was not that bad.
It was really very flat.
It was.
And it didn't feel even the slight grades with the wind. So here's the one rider I pass, and you can stay tuned, because she and I work a little bit together in the road race, so got to come back for tomorrow's race. And here's someone else passing me.
Yeah.
It's always a little nerve-wracking when you're passing someone and then someone else is passing you, but she did announce herself, so it was nice to know that someone was coming. But I was really hoping to not get caught by anyone on the coming back, because I was putting in the harder effort, but my heart rate here is 170, which is pretty close to maxed out. I was suffering, even though I was disappointed, in the race right after the fact. Reflecting on it, I think I gave probably about the effort that I had in me to give. So it's always easy to, judge everything after the fact and feel like you could have done more, could have done harder, but...
And I think this is your first 3-day stage race. And I think that going into the weekend mentally can kind of psych you out for that first day. I think you kind of want to protect yourself and not go full gas on the first day,
Yeah.
It could secretly be in your head be thinking that.
For sure. And just not knowing, I mean, this guy again, Mr. Encouraging.
Nice line. Took the apex there.
So here I knew 4 miles to go. I was just counting down the thing. Probably don't need to be doing over 300 there, though. Probably should have just kept it a little steady. slight downhill, and
There's tailwind.
a little tailwind. But I was disappointed because I thought the finish was at the same place as the start. So I was in a little bit of disbelief of how long 3K was to go when that was announced. And so I didn't really do as hard of an effort because I was misjudging where the finish line was. But really, what's that going to save me? 3 seconds if I go hard for that last like 200 meters. So really, it's I wasn't probably making up any places given a harder effort. But
That's very steady.
it's always fun to, evaluate yourself. And I mean, it's pretty amazing. Most of the time trials we've done, everyone goes off within an hour. This was all day because I think there was like 700 people who showed up for this
Yeah.
race.
718 people I saw
Okay.
on the website.
Marlena is the best scouter of all the details and the facts. I think best teammate scouter ever. So I can just reap the benefits of all the information she gathers.
For better or for worse.
No, it's for better. It's a great
For
skill.
me, I don't know. Me, it sometimes psychs me out a little too much.
Well, those days are behind you. You've entered a new level. So I think last year you were contending for second to last, and here you're just off the podium by 10 seconds and in contention. So knowing that you have a few days, you've gained in fitness, you're incredibly strong right now. So I think this is the start of many good things. Hopefully I can help you get there with my fitness increasing, because right now it's a little bit low. I can't do as much to help you, but we'll get there.
Thanks. And I came into this race as kind of an A race for me. I told my coach this is like one of my A races, so I think my fitness, I ramped up for this point. So maybe late in the season, we'll swap places. A little bump? No.
Yeah. We're playing charades over here. I'm not sure what is going on, but something is going on. So, Anthony, would you care to?
No, I think you guys are doing fine. It's
There's some movement behind me, so I can sense it. I just don't know what's happening. So,
I'm trying to encourage them to speak more on their races, which is great. I mean, yes, this was officially like my channel, and I like doing the breakdowns. That's just what I like doing. But I think sometimes it's good for them to tell it from their perspective, and the more they do it, the more they get comfortable with it. So yeah, I'm trying to stay out of this one.
well, I don't know about that. Some things just come naturally to some people, and this is not one thing that comes naturally to me. Yes, I agree. You can get better. I think I have got a little better. My now I can't even speak, but is a little bit less choppy, my presentation, because I don't know, I just don't know what to say. Sometimes I'm just stuck, but I don't know. Here we are. So couple miles left, and my heart rate's still increasing, doing 25 miles an hour. So I was just really trying to finish strong. My cadence was a little bit higher than it has been, so that's good, saving a little bit of the power. Here was the section that we were told needed to come out of your aero bars for, and it's not. It's just a few little bumps, and I stayed in the whole time. So, it was pretty comfortable.
Yeah, I think too, to be fair, the person that told us they drove it in a car, so they weren't on their bike when they scouted it that night. So yeah.
But the bumps hurt. With the stiffer time trial bike frame, you feel the bumps more.
But I think your bike goes over it pretty well. Like, it just kind of barrels over, like you're you're just going. So
That's true.
I have found that it's not quite as significant. The tires are a little bit bigger.
Oh, for your bike? Oh, you run 28s on your bike.
Sure. Yes.
so there's lower air. So it takes it better because there's lower air pressure. Okay.
Okay, so that's why. See, good thing you have, people around you that know things about bikes because
Yes.
it is not my strength. Definitely probably would help to know a little bit more. So just a second ago you saw the 3K mark, so I'm really trying to finish strong, but I'm not, and I don't really have a good grasp of how far 3K is. So I know, 5K is 3.2 miles because I've ran a few 5Ks, but I don't know how. What is it?
3.1 miles.
Oh, 3.1. Excuse me, close enough. But
You're the numbers queen.
So what is what's a 3K?
I don't know.
Okay, well anyway, I knew
3K means you go hard.
yes,
And then 1K means you go harder.
yes.
That's all I know. That's all I need to know.
I was misjudging the distance, and I was even second guessing myself of if that was the finish, even though there's a big line across the ground. I don't know if it's just you're tired, but I had second thoughts of, was that really the finish? We watched the finish for a few other people, and some people, it appeared, were going very hard, like they didn't know it was the finish either, and then some people were excellent of stopping their
Their head unit, yeah.
very quickly. I'm not quite that quick. It takes me a little delayed time sometimes to stop it, and then sometimes I stop the camera a little too soon, so it's hard to even finish the video. We just got to wrap it up real quick. So we are coming in shortly to the finish.
I thought this was the finish, actually. When we were out there, I could see the white of those, what are they, like barns or tarps? And in my head, I was like, okay, that's the finish line. So I think that actually helped me because I probably put it in a bigger dig to get to here. And then I was like, well, you
not
can't
quite there.
You can't softball it now. So I just kept going.
And usually you have a little extra to give.
Yeah, and I think
So-
I was chasing someone, so I was really closing in on a woman. I think we crossed the finish line 2 seconds apart.
Oh, yep. That always, when you have a carrot, it's a little bit
Yes.
easier to work hard. It's really hard being out completely by yourself.
Agreed. And actually, something that helps me also is my helmet. I have an Aero helmet, and there's noises inside that make it sound like there's someone behind me. And so I don't want to look back to see if it's just my helmet or if there's really someone behind me. So I don't look back, so I just go hard.
Well, hey, maybe the benefits of having
Oh.
a Aero helmet. I did have some Velotoes, which are pretty aero and, pretty nice on your feet. So hopefully
Yeah.
that saved a watt or two. I don't know.
And it was pretty chilly. It was like a low 50. Well, it says 54 degrees. So the Velotoes definitely help keep your toes warm.
I know you were brave going out without arm and leg warmers. I had all mine on. So yeah, here we're coming up, 200 meters to go. So normally this is where you maybe could be sprinting. I don't know. I was still just going steady. I think I was done. Maybe you don't need to sprint. Maybe you should. I don't know. But
I don't think so. I think if you time it right, you don't need to sprint. You just keep steady, right? And
so here we are. So that's all she wrote. Stay tuned for the road race tomorrow.
Woo!